Hey everybody, Kerzac here again to bring you another review in my backyard, and today we're reviewing the Transformers The Last Night Premiere Edition Deluxe Class Squeaks. Ooh, a lot of names with that. So yeah, this is the Premiere Edition from the last night, which is basically just the first run. I don't think they even really had anything other than the Premiere Editions, I don't remember. I didn't pay too much attention to the last night stuff, I didn't like the movie or anything. But I was interested in this figure because Sqweeks is a very interesting little Autobot, and he's got he's one of those real weird quirky figures, kind of like Revenge of the Fallen RC. Although he's a much better figure than that because he's not trying to pretend to be an action figure, he's kind of doing his own little thing. Which he is an action figure, but we'll get to it as you see. But you see he starts off as a kind of moped, a kind of motorized motorcycle, or not motorcycle, but scooter. Kind of think you'd imagine a guy delivering pizzas on back in the 90s. It looks pretty nice. And you see he's an old rusty one, as he does have some rust brushing along the bottom here. Goes around the back, goes around this side too. And all up and down the front right here has got the rust kind of color brushing going on. Also along the little wheel well right there, and you actually see a little bit on this one too. It also has silver paint for the wheels, which is really nice. Nice to see those rims get painted really nicely. Part of the Premiere Edition stuff was having a lot of paint. And this is actually Squeaks' helmet kind of sticking out a little bit, but you can pretend it's a wheel well or part of the engine just kind of falling out, I guess. Also, I'm pretty sure these mopeds don't usually have a big old engine like that sticking out the back. Just little, these are like jet thrusters just sticking out of the back of this moped. And of course, the Autobot Sidge only has this number just written right here. I'm sure it means something, but I don't know what it means. He also has this little kickstand, because if you put the kickstand away, he falls over. So yeah, leave the kickstand out. But yeah, he doesn't look too bad actually. He's a pretty neat he's an interesting Autobot, an interesting little alt mode for an Autobot. You also kind of see he has like the Armada laser going on where he has two headlights instead of just one. I'm not sure if mopeds really have that, but there it is. And you can actually turn this around, because when we rotate all around, it doesn't move up or down any. Yeah, it's pretty nice. He also comes with this little carrier, this little, not sure what you'd call this, but kind of something from the hall. Little trailer for him. It's a really compact little trailer that's completely covered up. This is actually a little workstation for him, and it's kind of neat. It actually still integrates into the vehicle mode. You can see it has the little clear black plastic wheels underneath. As far as how he rolls, he can roll if you get him going without him falling over. The little trailer rolls a lot better because it doesn't have to deal with the two wheels. So let's get his kickstand back up. And once again, just kind of got the rust detailing. It only has on the sides, nothing on the top or the front or the back, just on the sides. Here it doesn't look quite as nice. You can kind of tell it's just brushed on there with the little brush strokes going through it. But still there, it's nice detailing at least. Nothing too fancy, some techno babble stuff on the bottom. All that stuff. A little gap right in there. It does have a little ball right there, so you can actually take this right here, hinge it up, connect the ball joint in. It can be kind of tricky, but it snaps in place. It can fold back down, and you can actually have them towing it. There we go, like that. So now, it actually helps hold them up without the kickstand. So now you got a full roll going on. And it actually rolls really well in this mode too. It doesn't roll quite as well as the trailer on its own, but it rolls perfectly fine. You can even kind of get hinging like that, so you can kind of make it look like he's turning. And he does have one more accessory. He has this giant gun that he uses in the movie. And his other accessory actually fit inside the trailer, but this one doesn't because it's so big, so you kind of just have to leave it like that. So now we went from a pizza delivery moped with a jet engine attached to the back to one with a trailer, to one with a trailer and a giant gun sticking out the top. Or stick out the side if you prefer. There is points for either side for it to stick out the side. But it's so big and heavy and it's made of rubber, so it kind of starts bending the rubber, and I don't like that. So I usually just leave it off to the side. Yeah, leave it over there. Now, normally I would go ahead and hop onto the robot transformation, but the trailer actually does work with the trailer transforms. It actually works with the moped in this mode. So we're going to do the trailer first. So, woo, knock over that. Now I'm trying to be MGO. Alright, so for transforming trailer, one thing, these pieces right here pop up. So when you actually have them attached as part of the trailer, you can give them some extra weaponry, really have those pop out, and that gives them some cannons or guns of some kind. So it has extra weaponry there. But we're going to go ahead and pop these up, and they do come up on this hinge. They have a couple hinges here, so you can hinge them out like that. These hinge out like this, little flaps. These also add some extra weaponry if you want to count that. And then once you have all of that, you can go ahead and bend this on back. These flip out, and finally you can flip down the front panel. This is actually tapped into here, so you do have to do the side panels first. And that gives him his little garage station. You have this little arm that comes up like that. You can flip open his toolbox. You can see where his other accessories are just waiting right there. We'll get to those when he gets to robot mode. It's actually a neat little station. You can take Sqweeks right here. You can actually have him kind of back up onto it. And it's a little repair bay. You can have the little arm twisting around. It's got the claw. Looks like it's doing repairs on it. Also has this little gun piece that flips out so you can rotate it around. So you can say he's like soldering something onto Sqweeks or fixing a armor plating issue. So it's all pretty cool. Get a better look at the trailer. See, once again, we got some rust detailing on there, but the brush strokes aren't done very well in my opinion. So they don't really look like rust and look more like somebody was trying to do rust on it. Over here it looks a lot better though. It's just little smaller streaks of it. So, and on the arm it looks pretty good too actually. So it's more just on big flat surfaces where the rust detailing doesn't work too well. Plus they didn't really get anywhere else, so it just looks out of place almost. But it does have some nice detailing. You see all the little mechanical detail in there. Some nice stuff in there. Even the toolbox has got detailing on it. All on the bottom of the lights. You can also fold that out to make it a much longer station if you want. You can also fold up the back hinge there if you want more of a something like that. So there's all kinds of little things you can do with it. Same with the arm here. It actually has a good bit of articulation. Like it rotates here, goes all the way around. It has a hinge right there. Has a hinge right here. Also has a hinge here. Rotates here. And then the little hand's actually on a ball joint. But it's a rubber piece, so it's hard to twist it, but you can twist it, but I don't like doing it because it's hard to get back in place, so I just leave it like this. So yeah, I'm not going to count that as a ball joint, just count it as a hinge, because trying to use it as a ball joint can be really difficult and I'm afraid of breaking it. But yeah, also these have an extra hinge here, an extra hinge here, and an extra hinge. These have 3 hinges total, one here, and one up here. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do with this set. It's a really neat little thing. There are also peg holes on top of the toolbox, so once you have it in this mode, you can display the gun like that if you want. And that actually looks pretty good. I actually like how this looks displayed. So now we'll go on to Sqweeks himself, his little moped right here. Go ahead and fold away the kickstand. He is a little bit tricky, so the best place to start for me is usually with the wheels. They actually come and tap from the bottom like that. And you're going to pull them down like that from there. And this whole piece is going to twist around, this whole bottom piece. Oh, and it unhinges there too. So that gives you the room you need to twist it around like that. Fold the wheels forward. And officially you're supposed to fold them with the rims along the outside, little rim holding pieces there. And you're going to flip the kickstand back out because that'll help hold Sqweeks up. You're going to come to the front here. Go ahead and flip this around like that. So that kind of gives Sqweeks his little belly he had in the movie. I'm going to fold these out because these will be his arms. And go ahead and twist this around like that. Now we'll come to the back here. And all this you can see from the panel lines breaks up. Like so. That pops open. And this folds out to make Squeak'S head. And right here, there we go, that's what we need to go on. That's what kind of, because all this is going to kind of accordion together to make Sqweek's body. So for the head right here, you're going to take the helmet, you're going to come up into the top, fold out the whole eyepiece, fold down the goggles over it, straighten it out, and then pop the helmet back down on top like that. And like I said, we're going to accordion all this together. So you're going to want to start like this, just kind of press it up, and the front headlights here will actually go into this little gap in here. That kind of helps secure the front together like that. Accordion all together. Bring the helmet / goggles down. You do need to straighten this piece out right there. There we go. And that tabs in down. Flip the little goggles faceplate down. Flip the helmet back down on top. And there we have Sqweeks in his little robot mode. Make sure kickstand's down because it's kind of tripoding him up. And there we go. Straighten out the chest plate there. And put him right next to his garage. Alright, so now we got Sqweeks in his robot mode. For a quick comparison, here's my previous review of Generation Sky Shadow, who's a Deluxe figure. You can see he's about half the size of an older Deluxe figure. So it was probably about what a little bit less than what an old Scout class figure is. He's a pretty small character. But he does come with this big old garage, which makes up for his size, of course. We're going to open up his toolbox and dig in here for his accessories. Oh, it can be kind of hard to get out, especially with the bigger accessory in the way. Because he has 2 small ones and 1 really big one for his arm accessories. There we go. Let's set that big one over there for now. And of course he comes with these little handlebars because that's what his hands were in the movie. And of course not the real handlebars. You can see the real handlebars are still sticking out. I wish they kind of hinged those down or something, because when you have the fake handlebars in order to act as his hands, you're still left those handlebars just awkwardly sticking out. But there we go, that's his little hands right there. You can see it's just simple handlebars, not really actually trying to look like a hand, just the handlebars. Apparently these are actually compatible with the old C-clips from the Generations line if you want to use it for those, so that's kind of interesting. It actually looks pretty good. I'm actually a fan of this kind of quirky little design. You know, he has like a little jetpack piece going. I'm surprised how well it actually collapses up. There's very little kibble. Like, the only kibble I really see are these handlebars. And like I said, I don't see why they couldn't have just put hinges on them and make them kind of fold behind his head or something. But that's alright. It's not a big deal. I mean, considering how weird his design was in the movie, I'm surprised they managed to pull this off. He can still wheel along like that, but can't really hold it without having the kickstand down, so... if you want, you can have him go whoosh, and then he crashes. And of course, he can still sit on his, in his little garage. He can have the little hand come up and repair him. The only real new detailing here is the head, and you can see the helmet actually has got that rust detailing going on. Still kind of swirly, not the best it could have been, but not too bad either. You can lift it up and kind of see some detailing on the inside, see his little noggin and all that. The goggles are just clear plastic, which is pretty nice. It's actually see-through because you can of course flip them back up and see his real eyes behind him, which is just terrifying. He's got his little mouthpiece and his little eyes in there. It all looks pretty nice. The head can turn back and forth slightly. You can lift up into the helmet like that, but you can't really get... I mean, you can go into the side like this if you really want to, but you can't get the helmet back down like that, and it just looks weird. So his head articulation is just that. Nothing at the legs really, because I mean they're wheels, so you can kind of move them around. And you got the hinge there, and you got the whole piece that moves right there, so you can kind of move them up and down too on this hinge. So you can kind of get some articulation going, get him kind of like that. You can even make him look like he's kind of sitting like cross-legged, I guess. That's the best way you can do it. But nothing too fancy, once again, just because of how weird and quirky he is. He's an odd little figure. Arms actually do have decent articulation here. They do swivel, as you can see. And there is a hinge inside of there, that gray hinge there. So there is a hinge for the shoulders, and then a hinge for the elbow. But they kind of look like the shoulders because of how they come out the sides. So there's more to him than you guys could say meets the eye, just to make the pun. Speaking of which, though, he does have other accessories used for his arms. He has this big, ridiculous rubber arm that is accurate to the movie. So you can pull out the little handle. It is only his right arm because it only has a thumb on this side. If you flip it around, there's not a thumb on the other side. So you can give him that and give him a big old arm. Looks like he's ready to arm wrestle somebody. It actually looks kind of funny in a way. It looks almost like an accessory somebody made themselves. The rubber is a little bit weird because it does make it kind of bouncy. And it looks really weird just flopping around on his arm, but it gives him a big old arm, and it is compatible with the 5mm pegs, which the gun actually has, so you can actually have him holding the gun, but because of how rubber everything is, it just kind of falls over. But, you know, you can take the arm out. The gun actually has the peg in the back for him to peg onto his arm as well. And there we go. So you can give him a giant gun arm, which looks pretty cool. I think this is the best looking one out of all of them. And it is compatible with this side, and since it's a gun, you don't have to worry about the thumbs and everything, so you can just peg on this side and give him an arm on this side and make him look a lot more threatening. So that looks pretty cool. Personally, I keep the handlebars and such in here. And he does actually have a odd little super mode with his garage. Like, this whole piece stands up, And you're going to fold everything back up to how it was before, just like that. Arm just folds up like that. All that kind of collapses in together. You're basically bringing it back down to its trailer mode. You're just standing it up like this and having the gun sticking out like that. And how this works is you probably noticed this little gap earlier in its trailer mode, and he has this little piece right here on his back, and that all slots down like that. And that gives him a kind of combined mode. It does give him the guns in his robot mode, but it's kind of silly in a way. I mean, now if he wasn't mobile before, now he's definitely not mobile. Now he's just stuck there. He ain't going anywhere. Even, you can actually put the kickstand away now, though. As this whole garage bit actually acts as his third leg now. But there actually is a lot of stuff you can do with this. You can actually fold this back out. And you could fold the toolbox and the arm out. So you can actually still give him the arm like this, or you can turn around for this to make it a gun. All that kind of wonkiness. Wouldn't really recommend opening up the toolbox. You probably should just keep that shut, because otherwise you're going to lose your stuff. But that panel actually falls flat right there behind him, so I feel like this was meant to also be kind of a super mode right here too. I mean, all you're really doing is taking a super mode and pulling out the garage side, so... But yeah, there's Squeaks. That's every little thing he can do, and as you can see, he can actually do quite a bit. For being such a small little figure, there's actually a lot this little guy can do. He's got a lot of fun stuff to him. Would I recommend him? Not to everybody. You really have to be into weird, quirky little figures to like this guy. I know a lot of people who don't like him because of how just odd and different he is from most Transformers, but if you are a fan of weird, quirky little figures and like different things, I could definitely recommend him. If you like what you saw here, he's a pretty neat little thing. He can be a lot of fun to kind of just mess around with, especially with the little garage. I think the garage thing is a lot of fun. Oh, gotta get the kickstand back up now. There we go, now he's standing. So yeah, I do recommend him, but only to people who like weird, quirky little figures and want something different with their Transformers. So, this has been Kerzac. I hope you enjoyed this review, and hope you have a great day. Take care.